Jasmine Yolanda Wright.
Hi, welcome to or welcome back to Crime 1-1. I'm just going to jump right into it. As you just saw and heard, that woman's name was Jasmine Yolanda Wright. That was her on June 13, 2015, graduating from Drexel University with a master's degree in environmental and occupational health. She had received her undergrad degree from Penn State and was pursuing a career in public health. She had previously traveled to West Africa to assist with providing health care to remote villages. She was a very ambitious and accomplished young woman who was on her way to doing great things in the world, obviously, but unfortunately, she would be dead barely a month after that graduation. At the time, she was 27 and was living in Philadelphia, PA. She had lived alone for 2 years on the third floor of a 3-unit dwelling in the 200 block of South 50th Street. Several doors down from her lived a 56-year-old man named James Harris, who was known around the neighborhood as Jimmy Camp. He had been hired as a handyman at Jasmine's building in late 2014 at a rate of $20 a week. Despite being highly recommended to the building's owner, James had a lengthy criminal history. He served time in prison for manslaughter for killing his own father in 1982, who he beat and shot twice in the head. He had upwards of 30 lifetime arrests, to include charges for burglary, with 2 convictions, theft, robbery, drugs, gun possession, trespassing, and statutory rape of a 15-year-old girl in 2002. But those particular charges ended up getting dropped. A woman who lived in the apartment below Jasmine was extraordinarily creeped out by him and the fact that he openly talked about killing his father and his time in prison for it, to the extent that she had her locks changed. She wanted no parts of him. Sometime in the early part of July 2015, after about 9 months of working there, James was fired from Jasmine's apartment building for poor work performance and was banned from the premises. However, he never turned his set of keys back into the building's owner. On Wednesday, July 15, 2015, at approximately 5:29 p.m., Jasmine arrived back home from working out while talking on the phone with her mother, who lived in Virginia. Right after Jasmine entered her apartment, her mother heard the sounds of a scuffle and the line went dead. Repeated callbacks to her daughter went unanswered. The next day, Jasmine's father, who lived in New York, contacted the property manager to check on Jasmine after he was also unable to reach her. The property manager entered Jasmine's apartment and discovered Jasmine dead in her bed. She had been beaten, raped, and strangled. A witness reported having seen James Harris entering Jasmine's apartment building the day before, approximately 30 minutes before Jasmine came home. Police initially arrested him for burglary and trespassing charges as a result, since he had been prohibited from being on the premises at all. He would later be charged with Jasmine's rape and murder based on fingerprint and DNA evidence. It appears that after he entered the building, James went into Jasmine's apartment to wait for her to get home. It's unknown if he had a key to her apartment, but there were no signs of forced entry. When Jasmine came home 30 minutes later, he immediately attacked her, causing blunt force injuries to her head and face and some other parts of her body. He raped her on the floor next to her bed and strangled her to death, then placed her body on her bed before attempting to clean up the scene with bleach. A second witness, who knew James from the neighborhood, reported that she saw him on the porch of Jasmine's building that day around or a little after 5:45 p.m. That would have been 15 to 20 minutes or so after he murdered Jasmine. This witness noted that while he was usually friendly and chatty with her, on that occasion when she spoke, he acted a little shifty. He barely acknowledged her and tried to duck out of sight. One particularly eerie element about this incident, besides the vicious murder of a young woman, is that Jasmine and James were Facebook friends. On March 15th, she posted this. James Harris, as James Camp on Facebook, responded with this BS. "You are so right, smile," followed by a picture of a bouquet of roses. I envision that James Harris had developed a fixation with Jasmine and added her as a Facebook friend as a result, and that she most likely only accepted his request to be nice and because she was familiar with him as the handyman of her building. But unbeknownst to her, he was harboring a very deep and very dangerous obsession with her. And it was exactly 4 months to the day after that post that he raped and murdered her. James Harris was tried for Jasmine's rape and murder in the spring of 2017. His only defense was to try to claim that he and Jasmine had a consensual sexual relationship. Yeah, okay. Nice try, buddy. Consensual sex usually doesn't involve having to sneak into a woman's apartment and beat her up. He waived his right to a jury trial in order to avoid the death penalty and was convicted on March 30th, 2017. On April 13th, 2017, he killed himself in prison. Too bad, so sad. Good riddance. As always, thanks for watching, and please be safe. Until next time.